the silent language of stars and hidden cosmic messages. For as long as humans have looked up at the night sky, we've believed the stars were silent, distant fires burning in an endless void. Yet what if that silence isn't emptiness at all? What if the universe is speaking not in words, but in a language so vast, so ancient, that we've only begun to recognize its grammar? Every flicker of starlight, every burst of radiation, every gravitational wave could be part of a cosmic syntax, a message traveling across billions of years. We may have been surrounded by communication all along, simply unable or unwilling to understand it. The idea that the stars might speak is not new. Ancient civilizations once read the heavens as texts written by gods. The Egyptians aligned their pyramids to the belt of Orion, believing it mirrored the order of creation. The Maya and Babylonians tracked the movements of planets as if following divine instructions. Even the first astronomers, centuries later, still called the constellations celestial writings. They sensed what science is now rediscovering, that patterns in the sky are not random. They follow laws, rhythms, and sequences, as if the universe itself were a grand composition. Modern science has gone further, replacing mythology with mathematics, but the sense of mystery remains. Pulsars emit precise beats that rival atomic clocks. Quasars shine with brightness fluctuations that repeat like coded sequences. Even the background radiation left from the Big Bang, the faint hum of creation, contains subtle irregularities, patterns that physicists study like archaeologists deciphering an ancient script. The more we observe, the more the universe seems to whisper, "There is meaning here. Look closer." Some scientists have suggested that communication, in the cosmic sense, doesn't need to resemble our languages. It could exist as patterns of energy, geometry, or time itself. When a distant star pulses in a consistent rhythm, it could be a byproduct of physics or a deliberate act of transmission encoded in nature. What if civilizations far older than ours chose the cosmos itself as their medium, embedding information into the structure of reality? A signal not sent through radio waves, but woven into the fabric of starlight, gravity, and magnetism, impossible to erase, impossible to ignore. And yet, we listen in ways that might be too human, too narrow. We expect greetings that sound like ours, messages that carry intention we can recognize. But what if the silent language of the stars doesn't seek to talk to us directly, but to show us, to teach us through observation, resonance, and alignment? Just as DNA carries information across eons without ever speaking a word, perhaps the universe carries its own message, one that can only be understood through evolution, patience, and awareness. As telescopes grow more powerful and artificial intelligence begins decoding patterns we could never see, the question deepens. Are we on the verge of understanding the syntax of the cosmos? Or are we merely interpreting noise as meaning, mistaking natural rhythm for cosmic intent? Either way, humanity stands at a threshold. We are no longer passive observers of the stars. We are part of their dialogue. Each discovery, each transmission, each anomaly adds another syllable to a conversation that began long before we existed. And if we dare to listen with more than our instruments, with imagination and humility, we might find that the stars have been speaking all along. Before we go deeper, pause for a moment and think about this. If the universe is speaking, do you want to be among those who listen, or those who never noticed it was speaking at all? Subscribe and join this journey, not as a spectator, but as part of a growing constellation of minds searching for meaning in the cosmic unknown. Every new video is another signal, another fragment of the silent language waiting to be decoded. The sky is not quiet. It's waiting for those who choose to hear it. The patterns that shouldn't exist. For centuries, the stars have been viewed as silent witnesses of creation, distant fires scattered in the darkness, indifferent to our existence. Yet, as our instruments became more precise, a strange realization began to emerge. The stars are not silent at all. Their light, their pulsations, their alignments, even their apparent randomness, follow rhythms so intricate that they almost resemble intention. What if, hidden within those cosmic harmonies, lies a message, not written in words or sounds, but in the very structure of the universe itself. Astronomers have long searched for patterns, and sometimes they've found ones that shouldn't exist. Pulsars, for example, rapidly spinning neutron stars that emit beams of radiation, were first detected in 1967 as repeating signals, so regular that the scientists who discovered them jokingly called them LGM, for little green men. These celestial metronomes tick with astonishing precision, sending pulses across the galaxy like the heartbeat of some vast intelligence. While science later explained their mechanics, the eerie regularity of these signals remains a haunting reminder. Nature itself can mimic design, but not all anomalies are so easily explained. There are stars whose brightness flickers in ways that defy every known physical model, like Tabby's star, whose erratic dimming once led some scientists to speculate about vast alien structures orbiting it. Data revealed no definitive answers, yet the question persists. Could advanced civilizations be using starlight as a form of interstellar communication, encoding information in the fluctuations of luminosity in ways our instruments can barely detect? Even more unsettling are the alignments. Across the Milky Way, astronomers have found peculiar geometric distributions among certain stars and galaxies, formations that seem too deliberate to be coincidental. Some appear to trace vast arcs, spirals, or grid-like arrangements stretching across unimaginable distances. These alignments could be the result of natural gravitational dynamics, or they could be something else entirely. A signal, perhaps, not meant for the senses, but for civilizations advanced enough to read the language of space-time itself. Ancient civilizations, too, seemed to suspect that the heavens were speaking. From the pyramids of Egypt to the temples of Angkor, from Stonehenge to the Mayan observatories, humans have built monuments aligned with celestial events, solstices, equinoxes, star risings, as if trying to synchronize with a cosmic pulse they could sense but not fully understand. Maybe they weren't worshiping the stars but responding to them, participating in a dialogue that continues even now, though we have forgotten the language. What's most intriguing is how these patterns resonate across scales. The spacing of planets in our solar system follows mathematical ratios echoed in the orbits of moons, the spacing of stars, even in the clustering of galaxies. This fractal repetition hints at a hidden order, a geometry of creation that transcends randomness. Could this be the true language of the stars? A universal code written not in words but in symmetry, vibration, and proportion? Some astrophysicists propose that the universe itself behaves like a vast communication network, with quantum entanglement, gravitational waves, and electromagnetic signals acting as the channels. If that's true, then the messages may not be addressed to us specifically, but to anyone capable of decoding them. We might simply be eavesdropping on the cosmos, intercepting whispers from an ancient system of communication that began long before humanity opened its eyes to the sky. And yet, the most profound patterns may not be out there among the stars, but within us. Our DNA, our neural networks, even the rhythms of our heartbeat, mirror the same mathematical structures found in galaxies and nebulae. As if life itself were a continuation of the cosmic message, a translation of universal order into biological form. Maybe that's the real secret of the silent language. It was never meant to be heard, only recognized. The stars may not speak with voices, but with existence itself, and we are part of their syntax. The mathematics of meaning. Behind every flicker of starlight, every orbiting planet, every pulse of radiation, there lies a structure, not chaotic, but precise. The universe at its core behaves like a vast equation, governed by constants so exact that a fraction of variation would erase the possibility of life itself. Numbers, ratios, and geometric patterns are not merely human inventions. They are the grammar of existence, and if that grammar is universal, then perhaps it carries meaning. Perhaps mathematics is the true language of the cosmos, a medium through which creation expresses intelligence. Consider the fine structure constant, a value that defines how light and matter interact. It has no unit, no dimension, just a number, 137. It governs the balance between energy and form, chaos and stability. Physicists call it one of the most mysterious numbers in science because no one knows why it has the value it does. Richard Feynman once said that all physicists should have this number tattooed on their foreheads as a reminder of how much we still don't understand. If it were even slightly different, atoms could not exist, stars could not burn, life could not begin. In that precision, some see coincidence, others see design. The same precision appears everywhere. The golden ratio, 1.618, is found in the spiral of galaxies, in the growth of shells, in the unfolding of leaves, and in the proportions of the human body. Pi, infinite, irrational, yet essential, defines the curvature of space, the motion of planets, the structure of circles that echo from atoms to orbits to cosmic voids. These numbers are not random accidents. They are fingerprints of order, scattered through the chaos of creation. Some astrophysicists propose that this mathematical coherence could be the universe's way of encoding information, a structure so consistent that any advanced intelligence, anywhere, would recognize it. Just as we send radio signals encoded in prime numbers to signify intelligence, perhaps the universe itself communicates in constants, embedding meaning in the fabric of reality. Could these recurring numbers be part of an ancient message, one that predates stars and civilizations alike? There's also the strange coincidence of scale, what physicists call large number coincidences. Ratios between atomic forces, planetary orbits, and cosmic distances often align in ways that defy probability. For example, the size of the observable universe compared to the proton mirrors the ratio between gravitational and electromagnetic forces. Why would scales so vastly different be connected by the same numerical relationships? Is it a coincidence or a clue that everything is part of a unified design, a cosmic equation that links the smallest and the largest forms of existence? Ancient thinkers seem to intuit this connection long before modern science could measure it. Pythagoras taught that numbers were the essence of all things. The builders of the Great Pyramid of Giza encoded the value of pi and the golden ratio in stone. The Mayans constructed temples that tracked planetary cycles with astronomical precision. Across cultures and millennia, the message repeats: the universe is not random, it is rhythmic. It sings in proportions, and to listen is to understand. Even sound, the most human of experiences, reflects this pattern. The orbits of planets can be translated into musical frequencies, a concept known as the music of the spheres. Kepler believed that each celestial body produced a note in a cosmic symphony, inaudible to us but resonating through space-time. Modern astrophysics has confirmed that stars vibrate. Their oscillations can be recorded, and when converted into sound waves, they create haunting melodies, literal voices of the cosmos. Perhaps the universe doesn't just speak through mathematics, it sings. Yet for all our progress, we've only begun to grasp fragments of this grand equation. We search for meaning in the patterns, but maybe the meaning isn't hidden within the numbers. Maybe it is the numbers. Maybe existence itself is the message, an infinite expression written in the most fundamental language there is. To look at the stars, then, is to read a story without words, one written in ratios, frequencies, and symmetries. And if we can learn to interpret that silent mathematics, we may discover that the universe has been speaking to us all along. The cosmic code and quantum whispers. If the universe is written in mathematics, then quantum mechanics may be its deepest syntax, a code hidden beneath the visible world, whispering in probabilities and entanglements. At this level, the cosmos stops behaving like a machine and starts behaving like an algorithm, subtle and elusive. Quantum physics tells us that particles can exist in multiple states at once, that they can influence each other instantaneously across vast distances, and that reality itself does not become definite until it is observed. This is not merely a curiosity of subatomic physics. It suggests that the universe may not be built out of things, but out of information. John Archibald Wheeler, one of the architects of modern physics, coined the phrase "it from bit," the idea that everything in the universe, from galaxies to quarks, ultimately arises from binary choices, yes or no decisions, bits of information. Space, time, matter, energy, all of it could be manifestations of an underlying informational substrate. In this view, the cosmos is not a stage upon which events unfold, it is the computation itself. an ever-running program that generates its own reality. This concept transforms our understanding of cosmic mystery. If information is the fundamental currency of existence, then perhaps the hidden messages we imagine in stars or alignments are not metaphors at all. Perhaps they are literal. Every photon that reaches us from a distant star carries data about its origin. Every quantum fluctuation encodes the history of the vacuum. Every black hole, as Hawking and others discovered, stores its information on its event horizon, as if the universe cannot bear to lose a single bit of its own story. The cosmos remembers. Entanglement, Einstein's spooky action at a distance, deepens this mystery. Two particles once connected continue to affect each other no matter how far apart they are, as though space itself is an illusion. This phenomenon has been demonstrated repeatedly, and its implications are staggering. It hints at a hidden unity, a kind of cosmic web where everything is linked outside of time and space. If stars, planets, and even conscious beings share such entanglement at some level, then perhaps the silent language of the universe isn't transmitted across distances at all. It may already be everywhere, a field of meaning in which we are immersed. The ancients spoke of the ether, a medium filling all of space. Modern physics replaced it with the quantum field, a seething ocean of energy in which particles flicker in and out of existence. In that field, fluctuations create the seeds of galaxies. Vacuum energy may determine the expansion of the universe. Dark energy and dark matter, still unexplained, could be expressions of this deeper layer. The code of the cosmos, if it exists, might not be carved in stone or etched into starlight. It could be humming at the quantum level, shaping everything we see while remaining invisible. And yet, for all its strangeness, quantum physics echoes patterns found elsewhere. Ancient mystics described reality as an illusion, a dream, or a projection. Some philosophies taught that separateness is a fiction, that everything is one. Now science, through experiment, not faith, begins to reveal a similar picture. Reality as a probabilistic, interconnected flow, collapsing into form only when observed. Could this be the universe's hidden message, whispered not in words, but in the very behavior of reality itself? Even our own consciousness may be part of this code. The act of measurement, of observation, is what crystallizes quantum states. Some interpretations of physics suggest that consciousness is not just a passive observer, but an active participant in the creation of reality. If so, then we are not outside the experiment. We are co-authors of the cosmic script, writing with every act of perception and choice. In this light, the search for hidden cosmic messages becomes something more intimate. We are not just decoding patterns in distant stars, we are decoding the nature of reality itself. We are learning the rules of the program from within the program, like characters in a story who begin to understand the language of their author. And that realization could change everything: how we see ourselves, how we see the universe, and how we understand the connection between them. Stellar signals and the architecture of alien communication. Across the night sky, stars seem silent, yet their silence may be deceptive. Every pulse of light, every variation in brightness, every rhythm hidden in their electromagnetic emissions carries information. For decades, astronomers have studied stars as physical objects, but a growing question shadows their work. What if some of those signals are not natural? What if, hidden among the endless flicker of starlight, there are messages, deliberate patterns, transmitted across cosmic distances by civilizations far older and more advanced than ours? The idea may sound speculative, but it rests on a simple premise. Any sufficiently advanced civilization would need to communicate, and light is the most universal medium. Unlike radio waves, which can fade or scatter, starlight reaches us across billions of years. A star could act as a lighthouse in the cosmic ocean, a transmitter hiding its code within the very fabric of its spectrum or timing. We already know that stars can behave rhythmically. Pulsars, rotating neutron stars, emit beams of radiation with astonishing regularity, so precise they rival atomic clocks. Quasars, distant and powerful, flicker with immense energies. If nature can produce such precise beacons, a technological intelligence could use similar phenomena to send information intentionally. Some researchers have proposed stellar engineering as a sign of alien activity. Imagine a civilization harnessing the energy of its star to power enormous structures or to modulate its light in patterns recognizable across the galaxy. A Dyson sphere, a hypothetical megastructure built around a star, could dim or reshape its light in ways detectable by our telescopes. We might not see the civilization directly, but we could see the fingerprints of its architecture in the star's output. Already, anomalies like Tabby's star, with its unusual dimming, have sparked speculation about extraterrestrial megastructures. The mainstream explanation remains natural: dust clouds, irregular activity, but the fact that such anomalies exist reminds us how much we don't yet understand. Even without megastructures, a civilization could encode information in subtle ways, modulating the polarization of starlight, embedding signals in the timing of flares, or synchronizing emissions across multiple stars to form a cosmic pattern. We already send radio messages like the Arecibo transmission and beam our location to the stars, but an older civilization may have long since realized that stars themselves are the ultimate medium, a broadcast tower powered by nuclear fusion, visible to every corner of the galaxy. And yet, there's a paradox. If the galaxy is full of civilizations, why haven't we decoded such messages? The answer may lie in our assumptions. We expect communication to resemble human language, linear, repetitive, obvious. But an alien signal might be embedded in the laws of physics themselves, in ratios and harmonics we haven't yet recognized. It might not be a message at all, but a demonstration of knowledge, a pattern in starlight designed to spark curiosity in any species advanced enough to detect it. In that sense, the communication could be like a riddle, a cosmic invitation to think differently. This is not a fringe idea. SETI researchers have begun expanding their searches beyond radio frequencies, looking for optical pulses, narrowband laser emissions, or strange periodicities in starlight. The James Webb Space Telescope and other upcoming observatories could reveal not only atmospheres of exoplanets, but also anomalous signatures in their host stars, clues we might have dismissed in the past. Our tools are becoming powerful enough to see what might have been hiding in plain sight. The possibility that stars themselves could be communication hubs reshapes our understanding of the night sky. Every point of light becomes not just a sun, but a potential library, an archive of messages waiting to be read. And if one of those messages is decoded, the impact on humanity would be immeasurable. We would know beyond any doubt that we are not alone, and that the cosmos is not silent, but speaking in a language older than any civilization on Earth, the shadowed moons and forgotten worlds of our solar system. For centuries, humans have looked at the night sky and traced meaning in its design, from the constellations of ancient myth to the intricate mathematics of modern astronomy. But some patterns go beyond mythology and into the realm of the inexplicable. Across distances measured in light years, certain stellar alignments, orbital ratios, and cosmic structures appear to follow geometries that seem too deliberate, too harmonious, to be the result of pure randomness. Could there be an underlying order, or even a hidden intention, shaping the very architecture of the cosmos? Astronomers have long known that celestial bodies organize themselves according to gravitational and resonant relationships. The planets of our solar system, for example, follow a subtle rhythm. Their orbital periods, the time it takes each to circle the sun, show near-perfect mathematical relationships known as mean motion resonances. Jupiter's moons dance in precise ratios of 1:4, locked in harmony by gravity. Even the spacing of the planets, roughly predicted by the empirical Titius-Bode law, hints at a cosmic preference for proportion and balance. Is it coincidence, or does nature itself seem to favor geometry as its silent blueprint? But beyond our solar system, the symmetry deepens. The large-scale structure of the universe, galaxies arranged in filaments and voids, forms what some physicists have called the cosmic web, an immense lattice resembling neural networks or computer circuits. On a scale of hundreds of millions of light years, the distribution of matter begins to echo the geometry of thought, as if the universe were mirroring its own intelligence through its design. Even the cosmic microwave background, the faint afterglow of the Big Bang, contains patterns that are unexpectedly orderly, alignments scientists have nicknamed the axis of evil because they defy standard cosmological models. Some interpret these as random anomalies. Others suspect they might be signatures of a deeper structure or even interference from another universe. Ancient civilizations seem to sense this cosmic geometry long before modern science gave it numbers. From the pyramids of Giza to the stone circles of Britain and the astronomical temples of Mesoamerica, ancient builders aligned their monuments with solstices, star risings, and lunar cycles with astonishing precision. It's as though they understood, instinctively or through inheritance, that the heavens followed rules of proportion that were worth replicating on Earth. The Hermetic maxim, "As above, so below," might not be poetry, but a recognition of a fundamental principle, that the geometry of the cosmos resonates through every scale of reality. In modern times, the study of sacred geometry has often been dismissed as mysticism, yet its echoes are found in nature, in the spirals of galaxies, the ratios of planetary orbits, even the symmetry of DNA. When the same numerical constants appear across vastly different systems, from atomic to cosmic, one must ask, are these coincidences or clues? The golden ratio, P, and Euler's number emerge everywhere from fluid dynamics to star formation, as if the universe itself were a grand equation repeating its signature across all forms of creation. There's also the question of communication. If a civilization wanted to send a message that could be understood by any intelligent species, independent of language or biology, mathematics would be the most logical medium. Numbers are universal. Geometry is eternal. A pattern encoded in ratios, harmonics, or orbital symmetries could be a message not written in words, but in form. Some researchers suggest that the apparent coincidences in cosmic structures, from pulsar distributions to the spacing of galaxies, could be remnants of such communication, messages hidden in the music of the spheres, waiting to be recognized once a species becomes advanced enough to decode them. Even our own minds seem tuned to this geometry. Studies show that humans experience a deep, almost spiritual resonance when exposed to harmonic proportions, as if our perception is wired to recognize beauty as a reflection of cosmic order. Perhaps that's why we find peace in symmetry, awe in spiral galaxies, and transcendence in the quiet perfection of an eclipse. The same rules that govern orbital mechanics might also shape the architecture of thought, consciousness, and even emotion. If these patterns are natural, they reveal a universe that speaks through harmony, a cosmos that composes itself like a symphony, repeating its themes across every octave of existence. But if they are not natural, if they were designed or influenced, then we might be looking at the first universal language, a message written in the geometry of the stars themselves, the conscious universe. Are we the ones being observed? We look at stars as furnaces of nuclear fusion, as beacons of light scattered across the void. For millennia, they have guided our journeys, shaped our myths, and inspired our sciences. But what if stars are more than passive landmarks? What if they are not only emitting energy, but also carrying hidden messages? Cosmic signals encoded in their light, waiting for minds capable of decoding them. Could it be that the stars are not just background scenery, but active participants in a universal network of communication? This idea, once relegated to the realm of mysticism, is beginning to find echoes in speculative science. Stars, after all, are perfect broadcasting stations. They emit vast quantities of electromagnetic radiation across multiple wavelengths, from radio waves to gamma rays. Their pulsations, flares, and oscillations create intricate patterns that, at first glance, appear to be the result of purely natural processes. But what if some of these patterns are intentional? What if, somewhere in the stellar noise, there are signals, not random, but structured, waiting to be found? The concept of stellar communication was hinted at as early as the mid-20th century, when some scientists speculated that an advanced civilization might encode information in the light of stars rather than sending narrow radio signals. Unlike radio transmissions, which fade and disperse, a star's light travels across cosmic distances naturally and continuously. Modifying a star's behavior, perhaps through megastructures, magnetic manipulation, or subtle changes in fusion rates, would create patterns visible to anyone with the right instruments. It would be the ultimate interstellar billboard, one that requires no maintenance and can last millions of years. Astronomers already know that stars exhibit a variety of periodicities, pulsating variables like Cepheids, enigmatic fast radio bursts, and sudden dips in brightness such as those observed in Tabby's star. While natural explanations are the default, and often the correct ones, the sheer diversity and complexity of these phenomena have led some researchers to wonder if at least a fraction of them could be artificial. After all, if we on Earth are already contemplating projects like Dyson swarms or stellar lasers, why wouldn't a civilization millions of years ahead of us use its star as a transmitter? This possibility reframes our understanding of SETI, search for extraterrestrial intelligence. We have been focusing mostly on radio signals and narrow-band transmissions, expecting civilizations to communicate as we do. But a truly advanced species might prefer a medium that is both omnipresent and enduring. Encoded stellar signals could be hiding in plain sight, woven into the pulsations, polarization, or spectral lines of stars across the galaxy. The key question is not whether they are there, but whether we have learned how to listen. Even our own sun could hold surprises. Its 11-year activity cycle, its subtle oscillations, its bursts of neutrinos and particles, all of these are cataloged as natural processes, yet some scientists have proposed that if a civilization wanted to leave a message for a species like ours, the simplest way would be to embed it in the patterns of our parent star. This would ensure that the signal is impossible to miss and impossible to erase. It would not speak in words, but in mathematics, in harmonics, in a kind of stellar Morse code comprehensible to any being capable of science. Beyond the practical aspects, there is also a deeper symbolic meaning. If stars are transmitting information, then the universe is not a silent void but a vast conversation. The night sky ceases to be a static map and becomes a library of living data. Each point of light could be a page, each constellation a sentence, each galaxy a chapter in a story far older than humanity. And if this is true, then our role as observers changes. We are no longer passive spectators, but readers, or perhaps eventually participants, in a dialogue spanning cosmic time. The notion of celestial echoes also resonates with ancient traditions. Many cultures believed the stars were ancestors, deities, or messengers of the gods. They saw in the constellations not just shapes, but narratives, warnings, and guidance. While their cosmologies were mythological rather than scientific, perhaps they intuited something essential, that the stars are not mere lights but carriers of meaning. In this sense, the ancient skywatchers and the modern astrophysicists share the same impulse, to look up and ask, what is being said? Whether or not stars truly carry messages, searching for them may be as important as finding them. It pushes us to develop new instruments, new algorithms, new ways of thinking. It challenges our assumptions about communication, intelligence, and time. And it humbles us with the possibility that the cosmos has been speaking all along, and we are only now learning to listen. Quantum threads. Could information travel through the fabric of space-time itself? When we look at the night sky, we see separation, vast distances, silent gaps, and lonely points of light scattered across infinity. Yet quantum physics whispers a very different story, that everything in the universe is connected, not metaphorically, but literally, bound together by invisible threads woven into the very structure of reality. These threads are not made of matter or energy, but of information. And according to some of the most daring ideas in modern physics, it is this information, not space, not time, not matter, that forms the true foundation of the cosmos. At the heart of this idea lies quantum entanglement, a phenomenon so strange that even Einstein once dismissed it as spooky action at a distance. When two particles become entangled, their properties remain linked no matter how far apart they are. Change one, and the other responds instantly, as if distance no longer exists between them. But recent studies suggest this isn't just a quirk of the microscopic world. It might be the very reason space exists at all. Some physicists propose that the fabric of space-time itself is built from webs of entanglement, a vast quantum network where connections define the geometry of reality. Imagine every atom, every photon, every bit of energy as a node in this cosmic web. transmitting and receiving information through quantum threads that stretch across the universe. In this view, black holes aren't merely regions of gravitational collapse. They're data storage units, cosmic hard drives encoding unimaginable amounts of information within their event horizons. Even the radiation they emit, once thought to erase information forever, might actually be part of a universal process that preserves every detail, every history, every interaction. This concept leads to one of the most provocative ideas in science, the holographic principle. It suggests that everything we perceive in 3 dimensions, every galaxy, every human being, every particle of dust, could be a projection of information encoded on a distant cosmic surface. In other words, our universe may be a hologram, its depth and form emerging from an underlying 2-dimensional information field. If true, this means that the entire history of the universe, from the birth of stars to the thoughts passing through your mind, is written into the fabric of space itself. But where does this information come from, and could it be used to communicate? Some researchers speculate that quantum entanglement could, in theory, enable instantaneous exchange of information, not through classical signals, but through correlations that transcend distance. If such communication were possible, it could revolutionize our understanding of causality, time, and even consciousness. It might also explain mysteries like the synchronized behavior of distant particles or the unexplained coherence seen in biological systems. There's an even more daring implication. If the universe is an information network, it might not be random at all. It might be computational. In this model, every particle interaction is a calculation, every quantum state a piece of code. The universe, then, would resemble an immense quantum computer, one that processes existence itself. What we call reality would be the output of this ongoing computation, unfolding frame by frame, moment by moment, across cosmic time. And if the universe processes information, then so do we. Our brains, our DNA, our societies, all are systems that store, transmit, and transform data. Perhaps intelligence itself is not an anomaly, but a natural consequence of an informational universe seeking to understand itself. Consciousness, in this view, might not have emerged from matter. It might be another expression of the same quantum fabric, a local awakening of a universal field of awareness. This vision changes everything. It suggests that when we observe the stars, we are not looking outward into emptiness, but inward, into the architecture of a vast network that connects every atom, every life, every mind. The universe, silent though it may seem, could be humming with hidden communication, an exchange of data between worlds, between energies, between realities. And if that's true, then perhaps the silent language of the stars isn't silence at all. It's information, encoded, entangled, and waiting for us to learn how to listen. For centuries, humanity has searched the skies for messages, patterns in the stars, pulses in radio waves, alignments in ancient monuments. But what if the message has always been here, woven into the structure of the universe itself? What if the cosmos has been speaking all along, not in words or symbols, but through the silent orchestration of matter, energy, and time? This is the most haunting possibility of all. That existence is not random, but communicative. That we are participants in a dialogue older than creation, one that continues to unfold with every star that burns and every mind that awakens. Science tells us that the universe has memory. Every particle interaction, every quantum fluctuation leaves behind a trace, a ripple of information that never truly disappears. Across billions of years, these ripples accumulate, forming a vast cosmic archive. When light from a distant galaxy reaches us, we're not just seeing across space, we're seeing across time, reading the faint echoes of events that happened long before Earth existed. The universe, in a sense, is constantly recording itself, writing its own autobiography in photons, gravity, and entropy. This realization gives rise to a profound question. If the universe preserves its own history, could it also be capable of transmitting meaning? Information, after all, is only one step away from communication. The same principles that allow particles to exchange quantum data or stars to pulse in predictable rhythms might one day reveal a hidden order, a syntax of the cosmos. Astrophysicists have long observed strange regularities. Pulsars that emit with perfect precision, mysterious fast radio bursts, energy patterns that seem too deliberate to be noise. Could these be natural phenomena, or signatures of an intelligence so vast that we mistake it for the fabric of reality itself? Ancient cultures intuited this possibility long before modern science. To them, the heavens were not silent, they were alive. The stars were ancestors, gods, or messengers, their motions reflecting the rhythm of creation. The temples of Egypt, the pyramids of Mesoamerica, the megaliths of Stonehenge, all appear to encode astronomical alignments, as if their builders were synchronizing Earth with the sky, tuning into the same cosmic frequency that governs the movement of galaxies. Were they decoding something we've forgotten? Were these monuments antennas of stone designed to listen to a language older than humanity? In the modern age, the search for this language has taken a different form. SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, scans the heavens for artificial signals, narrow-band transmissions, mathematical sequences, or patterns that defy randomness. Yet despite decades of listening, the silence persists. But maybe we've been listening to the wrong kind of communication. Perhaps the message isn't hidden in the stars, but is the stars. A vast, living structure of energy and geometry, where meaning is not spoken, but emerges. This idea reshapes our concept of intelligence. What if consciousness is not confined to biological brains, but is instead a universal property, expressed at different scales? A planet, a star, or even a galaxy could, in theory, be a node of awareness within the cosmic network, perceiving, responding, and evolving in ways we cannot yet comprehend. If so, then we are not alone, not because others exist out there, but because we have always been part of something larger, a continuum of intelligence that transcends form and time. Quantum physics hints at this too. If entanglement links particles across vast distances, then perhaps awareness itself could operate non-locally, connecting minds, worlds, and civilizations through a shared quantum field. What we call inspiration, intuition, or déjà vu might be faint transmissions from this deeper network. Every act of understanding, every scientific breakthrough, every moment of awe could be the universe speaking through us, recognizing itself through its conscious parts. This transforms our place in the cosmos. We are no longer observers at the edge of an indifferent void. We are expressions of the same intelligence that spins galaxies and ignites stars. Our thoughts, our emotions, our search for meaning, all of it might be part of the universe's ongoing effort to understand itself. In that sense, we are both message and messenger, transmitting across time through art, language, and science, continuing the dialogue that began with the first spark of existence. Perhaps that's what the silent language of the stars truly is. Not sound, not light, but awareness. A conversation between matter and mind, echoing across eternity. And every time we look up at the night sky and wonder who might be listening, the answer is simple, yet profound. The universe is. In the end, all journeys bring us back to the beginning, not as we were, but transformed by the path we dared to walk. We've traced the whispers of ancient stars, uncovered the possibility of artifacts adrift in our solar system, and questioned whether the language of the universe has always been around us, waiting for us to listen differently. But now, one question lingers in the silence. What if this was the message all along? Not a transmission to decode, not a signal hidden in radio waves, but a challenge, an invitation to evolve, to recognize that we are not anomalies in the cosmos, but its continuation. The universe speaks in cycles. Stars are born, burn brightly, and collapse. Civilizations rise, wonder, fall, and leave behind echoes. Yet through every collapse, something survives. A trace, a memory, a seed. Even in death, the universe creates. The remnants of stars forge new elements, new planets, new beginnings. Nothing truly ends. It only changes form. So if this is a message, then it's one of resilience, of transformation, of perspective. The silence we feared may not be absence, but the space in which we are meant to respond. because perhaps the final part of the message isn't hidden in the sky. It's waiting in us, in our capacity to look up and wonder, to imagine the impossible, to search for what no one else sees. The human mind is a receiver unlike any other. It converts radiation into meaning, probability into art, raw data into awe. That ability is not random. It is not small. It is the signature of consciousness, the most mysterious force the universe has produced. And maybe, just maybe, the most valuable. In the vast laboratory of the cosmos, intelligence may be the experiment, awareness the variable. And the question we were meant to answer all along might be this: can we become aware of our own place in the infinite, not just in telescopes or equations, but in how we live, in how we treat our planet, in how we hold each other, in how we refuse to stop asking the questions that truly matter? Because those questions, more than any signal from the stars, are what make us part of the conversation. And when the stars go quiet, when no signal arrives, when no visitor descends, what remains is the echo of what we've done with our time. What remains is us. We are the signal. We are the artifact. We are the message future civilizations may find, encoded in our ruins, our stories, our failures, and our hope. So let this be our answer. Let this be the moment we stop waiting and start becoming, not just seekers of the cosmic mystery, but participants in it, because the universe may be vast. But awareness? Awareness changes everything. And maybe that was the test all along. Finally, if you've stayed with us until now, you're not just a viewer, you're a part of this exploration. You've chosen curiosity over certainty, depth over distraction, and wonder over apathy. That choice matters. So don't let this be the end. Subscribe, share, be the next link in the chain. Join a community that refuses to stop searching, not for easy answers, but for better questions. Because the stars may go quiet, but we will not. We will keep asking. We will keep listening. And someday, someone, somewhere, may find our signal, carried in the one language we all share, the desire to understand. Let that be our legacy. Let that be our voice across the void.